Welcome to all nations. I am your air acolyte, Jason Rogasnon, and the man to my side is my brother from another mother, my friend from the Fire Nation, VHS Jace. Hello, and today we're looking at another episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We are. We are. That's what my cat thinks of it. He's jumping out of here.
It's like, oh, goody. I hope it's a Zula episode. I love Zula. Zula. No, today is not an Azula episode. Sorry, Scooter. This is Bitter Work.
Yeah.
Chapter 9. One more episode, and we will be halfway through the second season.
Well, that I call it Bitter Work or Rocky montage.
Well, episode. You know, every TV show or movie where you're training to do something has got to have a montage. Even Rocky had a montage. Yeah. Montage. Always fade out at the end of a montage. If you do, it'll seem like more time has passed in a montage.
So brilliant. So brilliant.
All right, so what's happening in this episode? Well, what is happening is it is Aang's first day as a earthbender, or at least an earthbender student. And who is his teacher? Of course, it is Sifu Toph. And he's excited. She's Toph. She's tough. She's gonna make him cry, and you just know it.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's got the skills to pay the bills, and Aang is going to be in debt. Let's just put it that way. Also, what's going on is that Iroh, who was injured in the last episode, wakes up, and he is with Zuko, who has nursed him back to health. So Zuko and Iroh are back together, which, much to Iroh's dismay, Zuko is making tea, and it's good. It's good. One of my favorite gags in the whole episode, and it's so understated that you may even miss it the first time, but whenever Zuko gets Iroh that second cup of tea, and they're framed inside the window of this little shack, and Zuko's just talking, you just see Iroh just kind of go out the window. Because he doesn't want to hurt his nephew's feelings. And it's so great. And they don't linger on it. They don't call attention to it. It's just a very quick blink and you miss it gag. And I just loved it.
Yeah.
But
there's lots of sweet, funny moments in this episode.
There are. But long story short, Zuko wants to learn how to lightning bend. And it's dangerous.
Ooh.
But Iroh agrees. Another funny bit about, I suppose you think that me and Azula should hi kitty. You suppose me and Azula should get along? No, I think she's crazy and you need to take her down. I love Iroh so much.
Sorry, Scooter loves this episode. He's purring into the
yes.
He's loving it. It's a good episode, right, mate?
I especially like it when Aang cries. Human suffering is my ambrosia.
That is true.
I want more suffering. Look at my butthole.
Yeah, look at my butthole. There you go. Come on, Scooter. This is a PG show.
Well, it was. Now we got the full Monty or the full Scooter. Oh my. I lost all. Okay. Anyway, Zuko wants to learn how to lightning bend, and Iroh's like, "Yeah, okay. You're probably gonna die, but okay." Meanwhile, Aang is being put through the paces because Toph is kind of a slave master, which, first of all, I got to say, for some kid who don't know how to earthbend, he sure can carry a boulder. The boulder is quite impressed by your ability to carry him. So he's
I see a running theme. I see a running theme between people that train Aang. They all kind of throw him into the deep end instantly. And I like that.
Well, he only has like less than a year before he's got to fight the Fire Lord. So I mean,
I keep forgetting about the timeline.
Yeah, it's got to happen. They're not being mean. It's just tough love. But Aang is having trouble earthbending. Every time he tries to earthbend, it like instead of moving the rock, it like jets him backwards. And we get this really cool parallel between Aang and Zuko here. Because every time Zuko tries to lightning bend, it blows up in his face. So our two boys are both just having difficulty with this new skill. First of all, it is very cool. I just got to show that don't mess with Iroh. He loves to meditate. He loves a good meal, but he will fry you. He will fry you and not even shed a tear. Need to get back to my tea. He teaches Zuko how to call forth the lightning, and Zuko finally gets it. But then he says, I want you to throw lightning at me so I can redirect it. And Iroh is just like, no, you're going to die.
Yeah, you idiots. What do you think you're doing?
It will kill you. I'm not going to do it. So we have masters who, I don't know, I guess they're showing tough love in two different directions. One is pushing their student too hard, and the other one is trying to pull their student back, both for their own good. It just shows sometimes a teacher knows what they're doing, even if you don't like it.
But both Aang and Zuko are over-eager.
They are, yes.
Too enthusiastic at sometimes.
Just a smidge. You can also make that you can make that assessment of Toph, because she throws a boulder at Aang, saying, okay, you need to stop the boulder. Aang panics and airbends out of the way. Kind of like he blinks. And of course, this makes Toph very upset with him. You'll never be an earthbender. You suck. I hate you. I want you to die. She doesn't quite go that far, but that's kind of what she's thinking.
She's trying to draw emotion from him, isn't she?
Yes. Yeah, you really see what she's aiming for at the end of the episode. But Katara makes a really good observation that I really like, and it carries over into the other Airbender series. And that is, if you're really good at one element, there's going to be another one that will just flummox you, and you will not be able to master it easily. And of course, what is the opposite of air? It's earth. Air is about freedom and flow and redirection. Earth, you have to put your feet down and you have to basically out boulder a boulder. I love that philosophy. I love that. And Iroh kind of goes into it a little bit as well whenever he's explaining the differences between all the people of the world, and saying that that water is the element of change and its people are very versatile and they adapt very easily. The Earth Kingdom, the element of Earth, is very stubborn, and so are its people. They're diverse and they're strong. I really love that monologue that Iroh gives. It's almost like something that would be at the very beginning of the series, just to kind of get somebody ready for this universe, but they wisely hold it back until the second season. And I thought, that's what an interesting approach. But you know what? I like hearing it vocalized, what we've been seeing so far, because everything he said was accurate.
100%.
Something, though, that he mentions is that the Earth Kingdom citizens are quite stubborn. And we see that with Toph, because she basically starts abusing Aang. She takes his nuts. Let me rephrase that. She takes his nutsack away from it. Let me rephrase that. She takes a bag full of edible nuts out of his possessions and basically eats them and says, I hope you don't mind. And he's like, no, that's fine. He goes, oh, cool, because I found a really cool nutcracker, and it's his staff, his little gliding staff. And she proceeds to just smash the nuts with him.
Look at his face.
Let me rephrase that. She hits Aang's nuts with the staff. Let me rephrase that again. She busts Aang's nuts. No.
We got a bit of editing to do this week.
Yeah, we got a bit of editing we got to do. But anyway, she's basically vandalizing his staff right in front of him. And that's an antique. It was given to him by a monk, and he's very protective over it. But again, he's too, I don't want to say he's too much of a wimp. He's an airbender. He's all about deflection. He's all about evasion. And she's trying to teach him that doesn't work all the time. You've got to stand your ground. She's basically just trying to get him to stand up for himself. Oh, where's Sokka at during all this?
Well, I was going to ask you. We're missing a cat.
He's stuck in a hole.
Awesome. I love this whole subplot.
He's stuck in a hole. So yeah, he was trying to capture that cute little animal right there to eat, and he gets stuck in a hole with his arms like stuck right here. And I'm going to tell you right now, you may laugh at me, but that is one of my biggest phobias in the entire world, is to get stuck somewhere like this, where I can't get out and there's no chance of getting out. So watching Sokka in that position, I know it's supposed to be funny. I was like my anxiety was bubbling the entire time going, Sokka, no.
The only time my anxiety bubbled in this was when his hair came out. We get to see Sokka's hair for the first time in its natural state.
And it's quite impressive, I will say.
It's quite impressive, yeah.
But yeah, Sokka, his is basically a comedic side plot. Yeah. He gets stuck in this little animal he was hunting, hangs around with him and brings him food, and he's trying to make a deal with fate, the universe, or whatever deity that he worships, that if you get me out of here, I'll never eat meat again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. But after Aang is basically like chased away by Toph, he finds Sokka in the ground, and they have a heart-to-heart when, I think it's a really great Sokka moment too, because Sokka is wise beyond his appearance sometimes. And I like that it didn't just turn into him screaming at Aang, I don't want to listen to this, just let me out of here. He does take the time to listen and offer support. And that's why I think Sokka is just an MVP of this series, and he's so underappreciated.
And his little funny cutaway subplot really pays off in the end with Aang.
It does. It all comes back together.
As it always does with this fantastically written show.
We used to see this with The Simpsons, but it was always in reverse, where they would start out with one story and then it would veer into the main story. Here we have one story and then it veers off and then it smashes back togetger. And I just love that because what was it again? A saber-toothed moose?
Yeah, yes.
Saber-toothed moose.
Amazing.
Oh,
because it's the cutest little baby moose, and I was like, you can't eat that thing. Look how cute it is, and it remains to be friendly and cute. Like,
yeah, it's a saber-toothed moose. What were the people who wrote the show on?
I don't know, but it works so well.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what two animals can we smash together? I don't know, a saber-toothed tiger and a moose. Perfect.
Perfect.
What are we going to call it? A saber-toothed moose? Perfect. Somebody say sabertoothmoose.com is open.
I reckon the writers visited Australia before they wrote the show.
I'm sure they probably did, because it seems like every animal in the show wants to kill everyone.
Yeah. And we have been known to mash animals together too, occasionally. Platypus, anyone?
This does put Aang in an interesting situation, because he can't evade. He can't run away. He can't deflect, because his friend Sokka is stuck in the ground. And if he does any of those things, Sokka is going to get smushed by saber-toothed moose hooves. And so he has to stand his ground and fight the animal. And he uses his airbending to get it to go away. And he saves Sokka. And who happens to be watching? It's Toph. Toph is there and takes his staff away from her. And Toph says, do it now. What? Earthbend, do it now. You just stood your ground against a saber-toothed moose. And more impressively, you just stood your ground against me.
Yeah.
I know I've said it a million times. I love the heck out of Toph.
I love her confidence.
Yeah, I just love that. But then Aang is, boom, he's able to earthbend, and he has officially begun his journey into earthbenderdom. But
which honestly is about time, because we've been through a few. What's episode? Is this 9 or something?
This is episode 9, yeah.
Yeah, like we've been through a chunk of the season. We hadn't seen him doing a lot of training. So I'm glad.
Well, now we're gonna have a montage. Avatar's gonna have a montage. Montage. You know who else needs a montage? Zuko. And Zuko has one of his most incredible scenes, and I got to give it up to Dante Bosco, who just absolutely excelled in this scene. And that is where Zuko is basically yelling at a thunderstorm, and he wants the thunderstorm to strike him with lightning so he can try to redirect it, because Iroh won't do it. And he just spits all of his rage and his resentment and his bottled up feelings. He's just letting them all rip right there. You know, and nothing's. I can take it. Just give it to me. Do what you've always done. Terrific.
Well, it's actually that's how he gains his strength in this episode.
Yes.
And that's the smart writing that they do. It's not about the physical for him. It was about emotionally letting it go is going to make him stronger.
Yes, it is.
Brilliant.
Yes, it is. And it's a theme that carries through the next season and a half, because next episode, we're at the halfway point of the second season.
Wow, which means we're the halfway point of the show.
Yes, we are at the halfway point of the show. If you can believe that, it's it's coming.
That's nuts.
The next episode is a good one, if I remember correctly. It's called The Library, and I'm not going to say a thing about it other than very cool character that shows up, and he's kind of a fan favorite, and he only appears twice. Once in this episode. And once in The Legend of Korra. Those are his only two appearances, I believe, unless, there's a flashback or something like that, or there's something I'm just forgetting. But yeah, I really, really enjoy this guy.
Okay, I'm getting really looking forward now to The Legend of Korra, because I feel like they're setting things up, and you talk about it occasionally. Did they know they were doing The Legend of Korra as they were still doing this show? I mean, was there a big break between the end of The Last Avatar and The Legend of Korra, or were they sequentially released?
I think that they had the genesis of an idea for what became The Legend of Korra. I don't know if they had any concrete plans, but I do think that they were very careful in crafting a mythology that could go backwards or forwards. So I don't know. I know that we get the Korra series. We get the Korra series, which Korra is the next Avatar. She's a waterbender. And then they're currently working on a new series that's going to follow the Avatar after Korra, who is going to be an earthbender.
Right.
And of course we're also getting the movies, the one that's coming out, I think, next year, which is Aang the Last Airbender, which I'm not going to say anything.
But it's a trilogy, apparently.
So.
Go and support it when it comes out, guys. If
please do, because Dante Bosco
I know it's
expensive.
Returning. That's right. I know it's expensive. It's not cheap to go to the movies anymore, but this is going to be worth it. And if you're a fan of Avatar, I'm preaching to the converted, am I not? Really? If you're an Avatar fan, everyone's going to go and see this.
Yes, please do. Please do. When it comes out, of course, we will be talking about it, because I'm hoping that whenever it does come out, we will be wrapping up The Legend of Korra by then. So, who knows? We'll see. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know the timeline. I can't be bothered by that kind of thing. But one thing I can be bothered with is the next episode of Breaking Wind, which will be The Library. Please make sure that you join us for that. And also check out our Patreon. You can find it in the video description below. You get early access to videos. You get all kinds of perks. Something else you can do that we just added is you can become a member of this channel, which you will also get early access. But yes, it all goes to support us. We have a tremendous Cheeto budget, so please, 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 please. And on behalf of myself and VHS Jace, thank you for joining us this time, and we will see you next time on Breaking Wind, a Last Airbender podcast. What do you think a saber-toothed moose tastes like? Does it taste more like saber-tooths, or does it taste more like moose?
I don't know, but it'd be like one of those Flintstone ribs things, in the beginning of the Flintstones, and they go to the drive-through. But that's a big set of ribs, right?
Do you think that they would do like, in fancy restaurants where they say, oh, this is a 4-year-old cow and it was marbled this way? Do you think that they would come out and say, well, this saber-toothed moose killed 4 people before it was brought down. Please enjoy. One of them was my son. I just broke the fourth wall.